So we have left off in the topics of variables, and I think we will dive in directly. So I will start up a new terminal. And by the way, guys, I'm so sorry. In the last video, I've noticed that the font size was a little bit small to read. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. So this time I will make sure it's readable, and I think this should be enough. So I will go inside my downloads folder, Rustlings, and just do Rustlings watch. And here you can see we have left off at this point, exercises, variables 1. So I will start up a new terminal and also make this a little bigger, like that. I think it's too big, like that. And yeah, I will go into my downloads folder, Rustlings, exercises, and you have to follow this path. So we go into variables and we start with variables 1. Let me put that over here like that, and let's first read what's the problem. So these are actually output from the Rust compiler. So the Rust compiler is known to be very precise when describing errors. So it will give you really great description of what's the problem. So you can see here X, not found in this scope. And here cannot find value X in this scope. So the problem is with this variable, with X, and it says that it's not found. So the problem in here is that we have never declared and initialized X. So we just type X equals 5, but X has never been declared. So a declaration is really when you just type let the name of the variable and then equals 5. So that's the declaration right here. That's the declaration, and if you put equals 5, that's the whole thing here is an initialization. So you initialize X to be of the value of 5. Now here is a print line macro, and this will print X has the value, and then here inside will be the value of variable X, which will be 5. So the output should be X has the value 5. So we will save the file. And it's compiling. And as I've said, here you see the output, X has the value of 5. So, and always when you're done with an exercise, you have to delete this line. Oops, like that. Then save again. And now you can go to the next one. And here always you see the path of the next exercise. So let me open that one. Variables. It's number 2. So the error here is type annotations needed. So let X consider giving X an explicit type. So these help statements in the Rust compiler are really helpful sometimes. So they really give you suggestions, and you know, that's great. So the problem here is on line 6, let x. Now we declare x, and if we declare x but don't assign it a value, we have actually to annotate the type. So in this case, because here in the if statement we are comparing x to a integer, I will give it a type of an integer. So let x be of type, let's make I8, and I8 is basically integer 8, so it's not unsigned, it is always positive. And I8, because this is such a small number, so we don't waste any memory when we type I8. So let's actually save it. And of course we have also to initialize it. So I initialize it to 10. And by the way, when we initialize it, we even don't need the type. So we can delete this and it should be fine. Like that. You know, that's also possible. And now we are done. We can delete this line. Like that. And now we go to this path. Number 3. Used binding x isn't initialized. Here we have x, binding declared here but left uninitialized. And here x used here but it isn't initialized. So we have here a declaration, but we have not initialized it. So you can initialize it like that, or what we also can do is just make like that, x equals 7, and then save, and it should compile. So I actually prefer the first one because it's just more compact, but the second is also possible. So the code is compiling and output is number 7. So here print line number, and here will be the value of x. The value of x is 7. So we are done. We can uncomment or we can delete this line. Save. And we open the next one. Like that. So cannot assign twice to immutable variable x. So here we have let x3, first assignment to x, help consider making this binding mutable, mute x. Here also cannot assign twice to immutable variable. So in Rust, actually every variable is immutable by default. So you can't redeclare a variable unless you make it explicitly mutable. So you type let mute x equals 3, and then you can actually redeclare variable x. So we can save that one. And the code is compiling. Output is number 3, number 5. So that's exactly what we print here. Number, then the value of x is 3. and then here number 5, here number 5, the value of x is 5. So we are done. Delete this line, save. And we go to the next one. So mismatched types. Here we have this variable expected due to this value. Expected string found integer. So what we have here, let me in fact close that one. I will open it after. So what we have here is we have here a variable number, and this is of type string. So I will annotate that just so you see it. This is type string. And now we redeclare this variable and it's of type number. So even here, the trick we did before with the mute keyboard won't work. So if we do it like that, it won't compile. And I will show you like that. It won't compile. So what we need to do is actually shadowing the variable number. So we actually redeclare the variable. So we do again let number and we give it a value. So now I will annotate the type. This is not really needed that you annotate, but just so you see what I mean. This is now of type I8, let's say, and that's possible because we shadow this variable. So we made it, we wrote let again, let number equals 3, you know, but we cannot do it like that. Number equals 3 because it must have the same type. If we made here mute, it must have type of string, which is here not the case. So we have to do let. Let's save the file and see if it's compiling. And it's compiling. Now I will delete the numbers because not the numbers, the types, because it's not really necessary. I will save again. As you've seen, it's compiling. So we can delete this line, save again. And this will be the last one of this topic, variables. So let's go into it. So missing type for const item. So we have here const help provide a type for the constant. So what we have to do here is when you have a const, and const are variables that are never redeclared. So you cannot redeclare it, and it's also never mutable. And because of this, it needs an explicit type. So here it says here, I will suggest I32, but I will make it I8 because 3 is such a small number. It would be a waste in real life if you did on a value like this I32, but you can, of course. I will do it I8, doesn't really matter, it will compile anyways, so let's save. And that's it. The output will be number 3, like here, number, and the value of the variable number, which is 3, we'll put into here. So we can uncomment that one, or better delete that one, save again. And as you can see, we have reached the end. We are now in a new topic, functions, and that we will look into it in a new video. Until then, see you next time.